Our flagship program is called Building Business Acumen. This really helps the employee learn to think like a CEO. We help them understand those fundamental 5 drivers: cash, profit, asset growth, and people. Be able to look at financial statements, make assessments that help leads them into being able to be more comfortable and confident about what the company's trying to do, and then how they can impact that. Well, as we continue to teach that course for many years, we began to think about, well, what's next? What's the next? How can I not just think like a CEO, but actually act like a CEO? And so we created 3 new modules that build upon what we provide in Building Business Acumen that helps employees focus on 3 distinct areas. Number 1 is help an employee get really comfortable, really confident at listening to earnings calls. How do I make sense of those? Be able to filter that information down to what are the key objectives or goals that I and or my team can do to drive those results. And really build that confidence that I can understand, just like our CEO and CFO, what's going on, and I can then take that and act upon it, do something with that. The second module is all about, once you understand what the company's trying to work with, the next step is to say, well, what am I going to do about it? What decisions do I have to make that will drive those results? So we have a whole module on business decision making. Everything from taking an earnings call and saying, what are the 2 or 3 things I need to do? Let me decide what those are, and then go through a process to see, well, how does that fit with the strategy of our group? How does that fit with strategy of the company? Being able to feel more comfortable in making those decisions. So we walk through everything from a very basic model of understanding a gap analysis. Where am I currently at? Where do I want to go? Is there a gap between that? If there is a gap between that, can I articulate that? If I articulate, then what am I going to do about it? That helps them get a simple framework to think about where I'm currently at, where I want to go, and what am I going to do about it. From there, you can then talk about how do I make that business case? There's kind of 2 areas that you want to focus on. One is, can I make a business case from a quantitative perspective? Can I speak to what sort of return I'm going to get? But in addition to that, so many of us focus purely on that quantitative. How do I bridge the gap and say, well, how does it drive to the qualitative or align with our strategy? How does it differentiate ourselves within a market? How does it really help us provide a greater experience for our customers? In the end, both the quantitative and qualitative are vitally important. That the end part of that module is, let's make the case. Not only do you make the case, but you get a chance to practice pitching that case. From there, you then shift into the last module, which is then saying, okay, I now understand what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. Let's get to executing around it. So the last module is all about execution. A simple framework that walks you through a process to help you take those good ideas and actually create a plan to execute around. The end goal of Applying Business Acumen is to take you from thinking like a CEO to acting like a CEO, specifically in listening to earnings calls, making decisions, and getting greater execution.